everyone to the Tuesday 10:40 mat class for Pilates. I hope you are all doing really well today. My name is Brie and I'm taking this class every Tuesday for the duration of lockdown. So with today's class, it's just a nice focus on the core and the shoulders as well, making sure that we're staying nice and strong. Now, if any of you have any pain during these exercises, please stop. You can perform an exercise that did not cause you pain instead, or alternatively, just stop for the duration of that one and pick it back up when you feel like you're more than able to. But let's get started. So we're going to come down onto the mat on your back with your feet hip width distance apart and your head and your shoulders nice and relaxed here. I'm going to start with a few pelvic tilts to warm up the lower abdominal muscles and also the back. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take a breath into the side of our ribs. And then as you breathe out, you want to gently draw in your tummy away from like your underwear line. And as you do that, you're going to tuck your pelvis underneath you and your low back will flatten on the ground. When we take a breath in, the belly expands and the pelvis tilts away from you and you'll feel how your low back arches off the ground. We breathe out, engage nice and low, and we're going to tuck underneath you. Try and use those abdominal muscles to do the tuck. And then we breathe in to go the other way. And we're going to do another 4 of these. Breathe out, we tuck. Kind of like if you had a tail, the tail would be going between your legs. And then as we breathe in, the belly expands and your tail or your tailbone pushes into the ground. Breathing out to tuck the 3, engaging those muscles. Breathing in, belly expands, arching. Breathing out, tuck and flatten. Breathing in, arch and lift. 2 more, so 2, using those abdominal muscles, try not to use your bottom. Lucky last, and tuck. And then breathe in, tucking the pelvis the other way. And now we're going to find that nice neutral spine. So we don't want to be in that flattened position like we were, and we don't want to be in that arched position. So a nice way of thinking about it is just do some gentle rocks until you feel, you know, those dimples on your back. That's where you want to be with your pelvis, nice and flat. From here, we're going to bring our arms up towards the ceiling. We're just going to do a few shoulder exercises to help them warm up before our exercises next. So what we're going to do here is we're going to breathe in. And when you breathe in, imagine your arms are filled with helium and they reach up towards the sky. As we breathe out, they fill with lead and they drop back down. So when you breathe in, what you want to feel here is your shoulder blades will move around and forward of that rib cage. As we breathe out, those shoulder blades drop back down towards the floor. But during this movement, you want to make sure your neck muscles are nice and relaxed. And down. Breathe in, reach. Breathe out, lower. Let's do another 3 of these. What you're trying to achieve here is by doing this movement using the least amount of effort. So make sure those neck muscles are nice and relaxed. Breathing going forward and out to go back. 1 more to go. Breathe in to go forward and out to go back. So now we're going to settle those arms in a fairly comfortable position. They don't want to really be pushing down on the mat or reaching forward. Kind of know that they're there, but keep them from pushing down for me. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do a bent knee fall out and using our arm at the same time. So making sure your pelvis and your rib cage don't move. We're going to breathe out, engage through those abdominal muscles. We're going to let the left knee drop out to the side and your right elbow drop out to the other side. And breathing in to bring it back to the center. Breathing out, left arm, right leg, making sure the pelvis doesn't twist and neither does the rib cage. Breathing out, knee and opposite elbow and in to bring it back. Making sure that you're engaging those lower abdominal muscles as you do this because it will keep you nice and steady. Let's do 4 more alternating. So we've got 4, keeping the neck nice and relaxed and in to come back in. 3, in to come back in. 2, then in to come back in, and then 1, and then in to come back in. So what we're going to do now is a leg slide using our opposite arm at the same time. So making sure the pelvis doesn't rock. We breathe out, engage. We're going to slide or float our left leg above the ground as the right arm reaches above your head and then in to come back in. What we want to avoid with this one is that we want to avoid the back arching or the ribs lifting up off the ground and in to bring it back in. Breathing out, reaching without losing control of the neutral spine and in to bring it back in. Breathe out, engage and reach and in to bring it back in. Now, if you can't float your leg above the ground because it's making your pelvis move too much, then what you can do is you can gently slide it along the ground. That's absolutely fine. Whatever works for that stability for you. Breathe out, reach, and in to come back in. 3 more to go. So we've got 3 and back in. If you've got tight hip flexors, you might find it really hard to reach without moving through that pelvis. 2. Oh, well, that one was the last one, wasn't it? Counting's not that great today. My apologies. What I'm going to get you to do now is we're going to keep our arms where they are because that helps us to keep the ribs in a happy position. And then we're going to go into our single leg dead bugs. So the breathing's a little bit different with this one. So with this one, we breathe out to engage. And then as we breathe in, we're going to float that right leg up into tabletop. Breathing in to bring it back down. Breathe out, engage. Breathe in to float it up. Breathe out, hold. Breathe in to float back down. One more with the breathing like that. Breathe out, engage. Breathe in, float up. Breathe out, hold. And then breathe in to float back down. Each time you breathe out, make sure that you are engaging those lower abdominal muscles in that pelvic floor. Breathe in, breathe out, and then breathe in to come back down. So we're going to change the breathing up and we're going to do another 4 alternating of those before we go into our doubles. So we still breathe out to engage. We breathe in, float up, and we breathe out to float down. Breathe in, float up. Breathe out, float down. Imagine as you breathe in, you're breathing in helium to that leg and it floats up. And then as you breathe out, it deflates and floats down towards the floor. Breathing in to float it up and out to float it down. Now what we're going to do is our double leg dead bugs or our marching exercise. Now from here, keeping those shoulders and arms down. If you need to, you can have them down, but I would prefer you to keep them up. What we're going to do here is we're going to breathe out, engage those lower abdominal muscles. We breathe in to float up the right leg. We breathe out, engage and float up your left without your back moving. Breathe in, pause. We breathe out, right leg floats down and then in, left. Breathe out, engage. Let's go the right leg. Breathe in, right leg floats up. Breathe out, left. Breathe in, pause. Breathe out, right leg, and then your left. Breathe out, engage. 2 more on the right. Right, left, pause, right, left. 1 more to go. Right as we breathe in, breathe out, left, pause, right, and then left. And now we're going to do 4 on our left leg. So breathe out, engage. Breathe in, left, breathe out, right, breathe in, pause. Then we breathe out, left, and then right. Let's go left side again. Breathe in, out, breathe in, pause, out, then in. Left side again, left, right, pause, left, right. 1 more on this left side. Left, right, pause, left, and then right. Now, we're going to do the exact same thing that we just did before. However, we can increase the challenge if you feel like your back is able to handle that. If not, please just do the exercises we did before. But if you can, we're going to do all these exercises with our legs up in this tabletop position, and we can feel how the abdominal muscles are really working hard to stop us from arching. Now from here, we're going to start off with those bent knee fallout exercises we did before. So we're going to start with the left leg and the right arm. So we're going to breathe out. The knee drops out to the side as the right elbow drops out to the other side, and then in to bring it back in. Try and keep those feet together though. Breathe out, right knee, left elbow, and coming back in. Left leg, right elbow, in to come back in, and then left leg, left arm, right leg. 4 more. 4. Keep the tummy on if you need to. Drop those feet. 3. Make sure that pelvis and ribs don't move. 2. Lucky last. 1. What we're going to do now is our leg slide exercise in this position, or a true dead bug exercise. So we're going to breathe out, engage, reaching, arm and leg, and coming back in. And then other arm, other leg, and coming back in. 6 more to go. Make sure we're keeping nice and steady through our neutral spine. 2 more to go. 2. And then 1. From here, keeping in this position, we're going to do some toe taps. So with this one, the arms don't move, but what we're going to do is we're going to breathe out, lowering the left leg down as close to the floor as we can, and in to bring it back up. Breathe out, reach down, and in to bring it back up. Reach and lower. If you do actually touch the floor, imagine the floor is lava. So you just know that it's there, but we don't put our weight down so that we're keeping those abdominal muscles engaged throughout the whole exercise. Down and up, down and up. 1 more each side. Left, then right. And then lowering one leg down and then the other. Sorry about that, guys. So what you're going to do now is your hands come to the side of the body about 45 degrees away. You're going to bring your knees and your feet closer together. We're going to do a little bit of our side to side just to really loosen up through the low back and the waist. So with this one, what you're going to be doing is we breathe out, engage, and let the knees fall off to the right-hand side, but keeping the shoulders nice and heavy on the floor. Take a breath in and pause, and then breathe out to come back to the center. Breathe in here, breathe out, tummy on, going over to the left-hand side. Keep that right shoulder relaxed. Take a breath in, pause, and then breathe out back to the center. Doesn't matter how far you go with this exercise, so breathe it out to the side. It's what you feel comfortable with. You might not get your knees over too far, and that's absolutely fine. What we don't want to have happen though is you're feeling like as you go off to the left-hand side, you're really gripping through those shoulders and holding a lot of tension in your neck. Let's do 1 more to each side. And then if you feel pretty good, we might do a few with our legs in that tabletop position. But if you're feeling a little bit fatigued through your hip flexors or through your back or your abdominals, you can do the next 4 after we've gone to the left-hand side here with your feet still firmly placed on the ground. And that's absolutely fine. And coming back up. So if you want to, you can have one leg and then your other leg up, keeping the knees and feet together and hands up to the side. Same rules apply with the top up. So we're going to breathe out, engage, and drop over to the side as far as you feel comfortable going. Take a breath in, pause, breathe out, using those abdominal muscles to bring yourself back. Breathe in, breathe out off to the left-hand side. Breathe in, pause, and then breathe out to come back to the center. Breathe in, breathe out, off to the side. Breathe in, pause, breathe out back to the center, and 1 more off to this left-hand side. So we're going to breathe out off to the side, breathe in, pause, and then breathe out back to the center. Then 1 leg down, and then your other leg down. So now that we've really warmed up through the front part of our body and through the neck and the shoulders, let's start warming up through your glutes and your hamstrings with a few bridges now, just to also help open you up through the front part of your hips. So what we're going to do here is we take a breath in to prepare, we breathe out, engaging through those abdominals, we tuck like we did in our first exercise, and we start to peel the spine off, segment by segment from the floor. We get to the top and we take that breath in, and then we breathe out and we soften down from your throat, your chest, your mid back, your low back, and then finally your pelvis. Take a breath in. Breathe out, engage and roll up. Feel like your knees are shooting over the top of your feet to get the back of your legs engaged. And then as we drop down, feel like you're melting chocolate over the mat, just gently coming down, nice and easy. Take a breath in at the bottom and breathing out, tucking through that pelvis and rolling each segment of your spine up, lengthening your body over the top of your feet. And then breathing out, melting down from your throat, your chest, your mid back, your low back, and your pelvis. If you're feeling this one in your back, it might be that your ribs are poking up at the end. So placing the hands on the ribs can help you to determine if you're coming up too high and arching, because we want those ribs to be tucked under the lungs a little bit throughout the whole of this movement. What we're going to do now is we're going to add in some arm arcs to this one to really feel the link through the body. So we're going to breathe out and roll up, just like what we did before, reaching our knees over the top of the feet. At the top here, when we breathe in, our arms come up and over your head to rest on the floor, as close to the floor as comfortable, and then breathing out to roll our spine down, keeping the arms nice and relaxed. Breathe in, bringing those hands up and over to rest beside you on the mat. Breathe out, roll and lift, like peeling a sticker off the floor. Breathing in, arms come up and over, they're heavy and relaxed as we breathe out and roll back down. And then breathing in, the arms come back. So we do want to make sure that we're still engaging the back of the legs and the glutes as we come up into the bridge. But when the arms come up and over, we want to feel like our neck and chest are nice and relaxed and our armpits lengthening out with this exercise. Then breathing in, coming back. One more. Breathing in, arms come up and over. And then breathing out, rolling back down, segment by segment. And then bringing those hands up and over. All right then, guys. Now that's enough for being on your back. We're going to come on up and onto our hands and knees. So with our hands and knees, what you want to make sure of is that your hands are underneath your shoulders and your knees are underneath your hips. So we don't want to be hanging out in between those shoulder blades. So I like to think about I'm on the beach and I'm pushing and making a palm print into the sand. And we want to keep that palm print pretty strong here. The neck is relaxed with no creases at the back, kind of like a giraffe or a turtle. Now from this one, we're going to do a few pelvic tilts and then going into our cat stretch. So we're going to breathe out, lower tummy engages, and we tuck that pelvis underneath you. But you can see how I'm only really working low. And then breathing in, the bottom lifts up. So a nice way of thinking about this, if you had a tail, if you breathed out, that tail would be tucking between your legs like a sad dog. And then as you breathe in, that tail lifts up into the air like a happy dog. Breathe out, tuck the tail between the legs. And breathe in, tail up in the air. Two more. Tucking the tail underneath, just trying to work through that pelvis and not through your chest. One more. Tuck. And then happy dog. What we're going to do now is we're going to breathe out and tuck the tail, but now we're going to move that up through the spine as we go into a full cat stretch. So we're going to breathe out, we're going to tuck that tail, and we're going to move it all the way through the spine. The head drops down. Take a breath in. Breathe out. Come from the tailbone as the tailbone lifts up and the belly arches down towards the floor and the chest lifts up nice and strong. Take a breath in. Breathe out, tuck through that tailbone, all the way up through the spine. Spine reaches up. Take a breath in, and then breathe out, tailbone up, dropping the spine down towards the floor and the head lifts up. Let's do 2 more. Breathe out, tuck and roll. Breathe in, breathe out, tailbone up into the air, belly drops down towards the floor. Take a breath in, breathe out, tuck and roll, lucky last in each direction. Take a breath in, and then breathe out, tailbone up, belly drops down, chest is open. Take a breath into the front of the chest, and then we're going to come back into our neutral spine position, remembering a nice palm print on the ground and our knees underneath the hips. Now from here, we're going to do our quadruped. So with this one, we're going to reach opposite arm, opposite leg while remaining in a neutral spine position. So think you've got your favorite beverage on your pelvis. I like to think about a mug of coffee. You can think of tea or water or whatever your preference is. And we want to make sure that it doesn't spill throughout any of this movement. So from here, we're going to breathe out. We're going to engage those lower tummy muscles, and we're going to slide the right hand and the left leg along the floor and lifting them up if you can. And then in to bring them back in. We're going to do the same with the other side. What we want to have here is a nice strong handprint into the ground and a nice neutral spine. So the hand that you've still got on the floor as we alternate and breathe out is going to be working a little bit harder. And breathe out, left arm, right leg. It doesn't matter how high you go, it's all about control. Breathe out, reach and lift. And in to bring it back in. Reach and lift. Now, making sure nice and neutral, neck's nice and long. Making sure we don't let those shoulders creep up. If you want to, you don't even have to slide your hand and foot along the ground. You can just kind of float them throughout the whole movement. Whatever you feel like you're capable of doing while maintaining a nice neutral spine. Let's do 1 more with the right arm and left leg. And then what we're going to do now is we're going to do the same movement on each side once, but then we're going to hold it in that top position and pulse it for 10 on each side. So we're going to breathe out, left arm, right leg, reach and lift, pause here, and we're going to pulse for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and bringing it back. Let's do the same with the other side. Breathing out, right arm, left leg, and pulse. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and bringing it back down. Now, here's a bit of a challenge for you guys. We're going to go from our quadruped position into our plank. So what you're going to do here is you're going to make sure that you're in front of the mat so that you have enough room to reach those legs back. We're going to have our hands making that nice handprint on the floor. What we're going to do here is we're going to breathe out, engage, reaching that right leg back, planting those toes and the ball of your feet on the floor, and then left to join it. Then you're going to bring your right back to that quadruped, and then your left. So breathe out, right leg comes back to the plank, then left. Breathe in, right, then left. Let's do another 4. Breathe out, right, left. Breathe in, right, left. Breathe out. And then breathe in, keeping the shoulders long. Right, left, right, left. Let's go again. And last one. Right, left, right, left. Now we're going to do the exact same thing, but starting with our left leg now. So we're going to breathe out, left leg goes back, then right, left, then right. Breathe out, left, right. Breathe in, left, right, left, right, left, right. 3 more, left, right. Making sure those tummy muscles are engaged. Those shoulder blades are engaged. Your neck is still nice and long. And we've got 1 more to go. Breathe in. Right, left, right, and left. Alrighty then, guys. That's it for the ones that we are doing on our hands and knees. What we're going to do now is our assisted roll down. So if at any point you feel like this exercise itself is too difficult for you to do, what I would like for you to do is stop and give this one a bit of a miss, okay? Because it can be quite hard. However, if you feel like you can come down with control, please do so. So having those hands behind your knee, starting off really nice and tall. We're going to take a breath in, and as we breathe out, we're going to tuck that tailbone, and we're going to start rolling the spine down towards the floor. Now, there comes a point where your feet want to float up, let them as we roll down. And we'll end up in this position here with our legs up in the air and our hands gripping those hamstrings behind our legs. Taking a breath in. We breathe, nod the chin, lift the head up, slide those ribs down towards your pelvis as we roll up, segment by segment. Use those legs if needed. Feet come down and in nice and tall. Now, if you can't come on up using the way that we just did, come up however you feel comfortable coming up, okay? And focus instead on the going down. So rolling, getting this muscle here to work, those lower abdominal muscles. Keeping the neck nice and long as we roll down like a controlled fall. Taking a breath in at the bottom and then breathing out. Head, chest, slide those ribs down. Use those abdominals in the back of your legs to roll up. Keeping that curl to your shoulders or over your hips. And then in nice and tall. Let's do another 4. Breathing out, rolling down. Coming down segment by segment. Those legs float up. Using those abdominal muscles, taking a breath in, and then breathing out, head comes up, ribs slide down, rolling, 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 in nice and tall. 3 more, breathing out. Trying to get each segment to come down at a time, nice and controlled, breathing in at the bottom, breathing out, nod and roll up. Use those legs if need to. Breathing in nice and tall, breathing out, tuck and roll down. And breathe out, nod and roll up. Try and use those muscles in the back of those legs. Try not to come up into your shoulders. Rolling down. Use those abdominal muscles. If you want to take a little pause, go, oh yeah, I'm using those ones, and then continue down. And then breathing out. Coming back up, segment by segment, to your shoulders or over your hips and in nice and tall. 1 more for good luck. Then breathing out, tucking and rolling down, segment by segment, legs float up. Take a breath in. And then breathing out, nod and roll. Segment by segment. To your shoulders or over your hips, and then in nice and tall. So what we're going to do now is we've warmed up the tummy a lot. We've got a little bit of work through here, but not a lot, and we've worked a lot through the front part of our body. So we're going to do a little bit of our leg pull exercise, prep first, and then see if we can do full. Now, with this one, we're going to come back a little bit on the mat. We're going to have our right leg straight and our left leg bent. Now, this one does require you to, once again, weight there through those hands, but it depends on what you can handle. Now, the best position is to have your fingertips facing towards your bottom, but this is not necessarily the most comfortable for people's wrists. So you can have your hands out to the side or to the back. However, if you're like, I need to give my wrists a little bit of a break, you can come down onto your elbows. Just be mindful that this is the hardest position to do because it means that when we lift our bottom up, you don't have as much room to do that. And it is a little bit harder on the back of your legs to achieve this. So I'll be doing mine with my fingers facing away from me today. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take a breath in. And as we breathe in, the shoulder blades come down and together and the chest opens up. And then as we breathe out, we lift the bottom, making sure it's nice and steady. Looking forward towards the wall, but not up towards the ceiling. And then breathing out to drop the pelvis back down. And we're going to do another 5 of these. Breathe out, 5. And back down. Keep the shoulder blades down and together. 4. Making sure we're using the back of those legs. You'll find that you're working probably your left side a little bit more compared to your right. 3. 2 more to go. 2. Lucky last. 1. So what you're going to do now is we're going to change legs. So your right leg will be bent and your left leg will be straight. So once again, taking that breath in and opening up through the chest, nice and proud. We're going to breathe out, engage through that tummy and lift the bottom up and back down. 5 more to go. Breathe out, lift. In to come back down. Should feeling those muscles in the back, keeping those shoulders down. 3. 2 more to go. 2. And lucky last. 1. All right. Giving yourself a bit of a break. Rolling those hands and wrists. Now, if you felt like that was more than enough of a challenge for you, please don't attempt this next one and just do a little bit more of that exercise. However, if you feel comfortable, we're going to do our full leg pull exercise where both legs are nice and straight. So we're going to bring our hands back behind you again. Okay, our legs are straight and together. So we're going to take a deep breath in, chest expands up. Then we're going to breathe out and we're going to lift the bottom up and back down. So let's do a few more of those. Another 5 for me. 5 and back down. 4. Making sure we're working those glutes in the back of those legs as well as the back of the shoulders. 3. 2. And then 1. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to go up in that position. We're going to hold it and we're going to do 3 taps with the right leg and then 3 taps with the left while holding that position. So I'm going to breathe in, open up the chest. We breathe out, engage and lift up. So let's breathe out, right leg and in to come back down. 2, 1. And then left, 1, 2, and 3, and back down. We're going to reach forward with those hands, rolling out through the back as though you feel comfortable going. If you feel like this is too much of a nerve stretch, you can bend one leg and just reach out one side, just to get a little bit of a stretch through the back of that body after that exercise. Taking a few deep breaths here. That was a nice exercise for the back of those legs. Now, if you did have your leg 1 foot towards the other side, change side. Taking a few deep breaths here. Trying to get air into the back of those ribs and feeling that strong connection through the back of your legs all the way up through the back of the body. What we're going to do now is just a few stretches. We're going to do our mermaid stretch and then our standing roll down stretch. So with our mermaid stretch, we're going to have our legs in a Z-sit position. So you're going to have your right foot on your left thigh and your left foot out to the side. However, if you feel like it's kicking you off or it's uncomfortable for your knees, you can either have your legs crossed like so, or you can be sitting on your heels. Any option is perfectly fine. The main rules with this one is that we want to keep that pelvis nice and steady. So we're going to have those hands beside you. We're going to take a breath in and feel like we're reaching up towards the ceiling. As we breathe out, we're going to go to the left, the head, arm, reaching over, taking a breath in, and then breathing out to come back. We're just going to go with the left one with this side, so 4 more. Breathing out, we go over, and in to come back in. And I want you to think about, as we breathe out and go over there, your armpit and your ribs are opening up. We just don't want to be coming from your low back. We do want to make sure we are getting that stretch all through the side of your body. 2 more. Up and over as we breathe out and in to come back in, keeping the length between your neck your ears and your shoulder, and then back up. And let's change leg position. That's very fancy, right? So we're going to take a breath in once again, nice and tall. And then we're going to breathe out, head, shoulder, arm, up and over. And then breathing in to come back. Breathing out, up and over. And then in to come back in. Up and over. And back in. 3 more. And you want to feel this stretch to the side of your body. If you are feeling it through your head or your neck, an alternative is just placing your hand on your head and working from your shoulder, your elbow. Perfect. Now what I want everyone to do is we're going to come up into a standing position. From here, we're going to have our feet hip-width distance apart. And we're going to have actually our weight just a little bit more centered towards the front of our feet, so towards the ball, about 60%. Now from here, we're going to take a breath in nice and tall, and then as we breathe out, our head grows heavy. Our arms grow heavy, keep a little bit more weight on those toes. We roll down segment by segment. At the bottom here, take a breath in, nice and relaxed. Bend those knees if you need to. And then we're going to breathe out, scooping the tummy, using the back of the legs to roll our spine up, restacking the spine, segment by segment. Take a breath in, up towards the ceiling. We're going to breathe out, the head grows heavy, the shoulders grow heavy, the hands are like lead. And we're going to peel each segment of our spine off one after the other, but keeping the majority of our weight onto the balls of our feet. At the bottom here, we take a breath in, and then we breathe out, using those abdominal muscles and restacking that spine up, segment by segment by segment, till our head's up, taking a breath in nice and tall, and then breathing out, rolling down, head, shoulders. Make sure those abdominal muscles are on so we don't all fall forward. Kind of like you're reaching over an electric fence and you're just trying to keep your tummy away from touching it. Taking a breath in and then breathing out, tuck and roll that spine back up. Segment by segment, take a breath in at the top. Let's do another 3. Breathing out, rolling down, head, shoulders and arms. Oh, your back is just opening up. Those muscles are letting go in the back. Might be able to go a little bit further than our first one. And then breathing out, rolling back up, segment by segment, bit by bit. Feeling that tummy muscle work just gently. Okay, guys? Breathe in tall. Breathe out. 2 more to go. Head, shoulders, arms. Just gently rolling down. A little bit of weight stays on those toes. We take a breath in and then we breathe out. Engage those abdominal muscles as we roll back up. And we have 1 more to go. Should be feeling a little bit light and airy in the body. Last one. If you feel dizzy, just please stop. Sit down, have a glass of water. But if not, please continue. This is the last one. Breathing out, engaging those abs, rolling up, segment by segment by segment, nice and soft, all the way out tall. At the top here, just take a few breaths in and out. Breathing in and out. Lucky last, breathing in and out. And that's it for the Tuesday class. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I hope to see you all next week. Thank you. Bye.